Hey everybody, Jeff again, Elite Sports Shooting. It's great to be back. I'm going to do another cleaning video. It's a cleaning video on the Browning Silv semi-automatic 12 gauge shotgun. Before I get going, I always give a shout out to the GUGULUZA Gun Sock people. I really appreciate their product for the price that I buy it for. I did go online and I tried to purchase them online directly. Maybe it was going to be a little cheaper. It was a little bit cheaper, but I live in Canada and it would have been $13 to ship it here, which I may as well buy them through Amazon and pay $8 a piece. So anyways, I'm just going to reconfigure the cameras and so you can have a direct view of what I'm doing. So just give me a second. I'm just going to resituate the camera. You might be able to see that Milo is still down here with me. I really don't do much without him. He goes everywhere I go. So I'm going to start by taking off the extended choke tube. Now these extended choke tubes I got with my Maxxis 2. I did a unboxing, kind of a startup video for this not too long ago. But I have put over 1,000 rounds through this, and it's a gas operated system, so I do need to clean it. It comes with the brass 4-bead and no mid-bead, so I put on a because I like the fiber optic 4-bead better myself, so I put that on there, but I'm going to take it off to clean it. So we're going to undo the, I got that on there pretty good, the 4N cap. I'm also going to take this and move it. I built that just so I can stand stuff on it. This one here, I'm going to slide that wood 4N cap right off and set that to the side. And then pull the barrel off. I leave the Browning sticker on as long as I possibly can. I don't know why. This is starting to really crinkle that top layer, that top plastic tip layer. I'm going to take the gas piston off. Now there's already more parts here, and I am not even done. I just did a cleaning video on the Gearson MC312, and you can tell just by looking that the gas systems are generally dirtier. I got a spring that I'm taking off as well. Keep everything together. Now, I really do like this gun. This is being kind of difficult, and for the reason that it cycles so well. I can't get my fingers on that. A lot of times you have to push the bolt back. Oh, there. That was a little bit of a chore to pull out. We're just going to pull this right out. You can see that the bolt and the link are not that bad. Okay, so this does come apart, but we're going to put it back together. It's got a little hook at the back and a little hook area, so you'll drop it in and then pull it back so it seats right in that little. I not only did that for you, but for me, because if I have a problem with it, I'll stop the video and look at it myself. So now the trigger group. Now the trigger group looks like it's these 2 pins, and you can either go from either side. So when I'm going to put them in order, they look like they're the same size, so I'm just going to set them down together. My Benelli, Supernova, and Nova, they were different sizes, so only one would go in. You may be able to switch those back and forth between each one of these holes. I'm going to make sure that the safety is on, and it pulls right out. So that trigger group doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit of carbon buildup here, but we'll spray her down and get her all cleaned up. And then looking down in that hole, it doesn't look too bad in there. Oh, you can see some definite carbon in there. Now, just like every shotgun that I own, every time I buy a new shotgun, I always clean it before I take it to the range. The choke tube is not that bad, but then again, I clean this very regularly. So I took the skeet one out and I put the improved cylinder in. That's just a preference on the sporting clays that I was shooting. The gas piston is filthy. Yeah, there's a fair bit of carbon buildup. You can see it on my fingers already. Sprayed out really good. We're just going to set that there for a second. I'm going to spray down into the receiver. That one is done. Of course, this is brand spanking new. So I am going to put this, there we go. Now with the barrel, I'll spray her right down. And of course, a brand new just like everything, anytime you try something brand new, there's always an issue. So I just had some of that G96 spraying up around the edge. There we go. Let's spray out real good. Make sure I don't get any on my dog. And spray down that trigger group. Ooh, it's really taking that carbon buildup off. Now, I really wanted this to get dirty, so that's why I put 1,000 rounds through it before I did any kind of cleaning in it. And just looking at this choke tube, I just pulled my choke tube out of my MC312, my gear sawn. And it was rusted really bad. It was dirty, and I I regretted it. But this is how a choke tube, you know, a properly looking choke tube is supposed to look, you know, inside and out. I was pretty disappointed that I did not even think of doing the choke tube, but Gearson did say they made the statement that you didn't have to clean it, required no cleaning for 5,000 rounds, which for me was, it took 2 years, but I do have a lot of guns that I do have to use. My go-to lately has been my Stevens 555 Sporting over and under, and that was mainly for traps, for trap shooting. I don't like using a semi. I like using a semi for sporting clays and skeet. I like my skeet. My semi for my skeet, for skeet shooting, because no one's beside me. Actually, I'm going to spray that out again, and I'm going to use this, the bristle end on this. Actually, I might need to put this end on it so I can get it in and out. Even just some of that carbon's coming off of my hands. I'm glad I really took the time to clean this a little bit better. So the Browning Silv came with 3 chokes, 3 flush mounted chokes, and I prefer my extended chokes. When you're at the trap line or you're at the sporting clays line, you end up having a rubber. A lot of people put it on their toe. I do not like doing that. I put it on a rubber mat at my feet, so I don't have to hold it the entire time. There, the choke tube is nice and clean. Now we're going to clean off the magazine tube, and that's nice and sparkly again. There's a little bit carbon buildup here. Let's just spray that again. Not like it's a huge deal. You see there's a fair bit of carbon buildup on that magazine tube. I may be missing my plug on this one. I have an extra plug, I just couldn't remember which shotgun it came out of when I took my several shotguns apart at one time, just to see about the interchangeable parts and stuff like that between the Browning Silv, the Maxus 2, the A5. I didn't have an opportunity to do a video on the A5. It was a friend of mine, but he let me shoot it. Maybe I could use it. You can see it's still pretty darn dirty. I wonder if that actually comes apart. This looks like there's a little bit of carbon buildup in there that I can't get to. Milo is now at my feet. He doesn't usually go that far from me. Let's see if it fits in here. Nope, it belongs in something else. There we go. It's actually looking pretty good. Alright, so that's the gas piston. That's nice and clean. Now the Browning Silver, the overall look of it is absolutely gorgeous. I love how it looks. The only thing I would do different is if I can get a better bolt release. Something a little bit bigger. I did a video. I have an A400 Extreme, not an Extreme Plus, but the Extreme Ultima, and it has the low profile receiver, and I ended up putting on the oversized bolt release on it. I did put a video out on it if you're ever interested, or you want to replace yours, or say yours is damaged and you have to replace it, but you need to check that out. But the one thing that I would do is the oversized bolt release. At first I wasn't really happy with this charging handle. It's small, it's smaller, it's larger and more form-fitted than on the Gearson. Just spraying down that bolt. Let that sit for a few minutes. I'm going to wipe off the trigger group. Even get in here, get some of that carbon debris off. Now, another thing I do is I have an air compressor with an air gun. A lot of times, instead of spraying this down, I'll just blow all the crud out, and then just take a toothbrush and just try to break up some of that, whatever the surface carbon is, just to kind of spray everything out. The last thing I want to do is get a whole bunch of oil in here, and then that will attract all the dust and dirt. But when I'm not shooting, my guns are always back into either in the gun case or in a GUGULUZA gun sock, and that is not negotiable. When you spend this much money on firearms, even if the Gearson was $420, $430, it's still a significant amount of money. It's money. And always take good care of your, so when you take good care of your stuff, it'll last you a long time. I think it was my Beretta A400 that I scratched, and then I googled like gun sock or gun sleeve, and that's when I actually found the link. And I'll put the link for the GUGULUZA gun sock in my comments below, or the sorry, the description below. My toothbrush again. Now I do have a metal toothbrush, but this has actually been working pretty good. And that's Milo whining, wondering, hey, when can we go do something fun? When can you take me for a walk? Normally I'll put on some music or something like that, but not today. I actually really enjoy this. It's strange or freaky that like even after a couple hours of shooting, that I'll actually come out here and spend a couple hours cleaning. I don't think I cleaned that yet. Doesn't look like it. Now I'll take my big scrubby, tighten that up a little bit, push her through. Now they do get, the gas guns do get a little bit more dirty, but when you enjoy it, make sure you get in far enough for those. The choke tube threads are about 2.5 inches down, so make sure you get those really good. And I'm wearing my Fulcrum Outdoors hoodie. They're out of Fort McLeod. They've been pretty good to me. We're going to come out the other side. Just like that. Not too bad. We'll pass. And this is just a piece of t-shirt. You can use whatever you want. You can buy patches, professional patches, but I literally just cut off a piece of t-shirt, and I use it a couple of times just to make sure that gets all the gunk off. This is just a piece of t-shirt. Now it's just a smooth bore in there. It's not like a rifle. Now the excess G96 gun treatment, there's a little bit that got on the barrel, and I'm just going to use that and spread it all out to make sure that the barrel doesn't rust. I want to make sure that the inside of the gas piston chamber is nice and clean. I should probably, there's the 2 holes right there. I'm just going to scrub inside of there. Ooh, that was pretty good. That was very dirty. That gas tube gets fairly dirty. Sorry if I'm not holding it in front of the camera. I'm a little on the receiver and on the wood stock. I always make sure that that wood stock is nice and clean all the time. That if it gets wet, I clean it off right away. And my dog is still whining. He wants to go for a WALK. Wipe off the firing pin part of the bolt. Rotating bolt carrier and the link, the bolt carrier link mount. Wipe it down really good. There, I think everything is pretty clean. There wasn't really anything on this. Alright, time for a little bit of lube. Just in the slide channel. On both sides. And all I did is I put a small little bead right in this little channel right in here inside the receiver. Goes right in here. And that's for, that goes in there like that. But when you put this back in, these slide rails will slide down in there. First I want to put the trigger group in. And you're going to press the bolt release so it just kind of drops down into place. And you're literally just lining these two holes up. Take your roll pin. I don't see, I didn't. Need a little bit of convincing. Don't use a hammer. Just use something. I use just the end of a screwdriver. Now the link goes back together. The bolt goes back together. We'll do it properly here so you can see it. It just drops in. And you can see it literally drop down in and then hook forward. And then I usually just kind of stand it up on end, but I'm doing this so you'll be able to see it. So it literally just slides right back into there. And of course that link has to butt up against that recoil spring, which is easier to do when the gun is sitting up on its top like this. And it has to sit in there perfectly. And this is the tricky thing about it. Yeah, see, it's being disagreeable. This is the hardest part most of the time. And I did this on my Beretta A300 as well. This link actually has to fall back into the perfect position. I get a better idea. Let's put this charging handle back in. All right, it's being disagreeable. I'm gonna have to pull that charging handle back out again. See, this is why I don't like those links. That gear saw went back together like a dream. Nope. That link dropped down. It's got to be in the perfect position. Just like that. Oh, I think I got lucky on that one. Okay, wow. See, nothing ever, sometimes it works so perfect, but then the other times, wow, it just nothing but problems. My A300, I did a cleaning video on it, and I think I had made a comment about how tough it goes back together, and then it went back together the very first time. And then, of course, I was upset. Because I wanted everybody to see how difficult it was. So the recoil spring, one of these recoil springs, this isn't that dirty. I know there's like, the carbon does have a way of getting it really dirty, but and we're going to slide that right open. We're going to put the gas tube on. Now the gas tube only goes in one direction, and it's going to go like that. So that a little bit of carbon never did come off, but I'm going to leave it till next time. And everything has to be held back together while you slide the barrel right back on. Now you could probably get away with just putting this back into there. Everything has to be lined up just perfectly. And then the foregrip, I'm just going to wipe her down one more time because I had even just the oil from my hands. I'm going to put my magnetic bead back on. And now oh, that did fall back out again. I didn't put it back in now that it's in and out a few times. And we're going to cycle it a couple of times, making sure that everything works. Voila! And there you have it. The Browning Silv semi-automatic gas-operated shotgun is now clean. And I've only put 1,000 rounds through it, and it was actually, it was as dirty as I expected it to be. So, but anyway, that's it for me. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I am going to leave in the, how long it took me to put the bolt back together, so everybody realizes that, it's not always easy to clean these with the with those links. To date, I think my Beretta A400 is probably one of the easiest to clean. But if you don't have to clean it, like the Gearson MC312, it really wasn't dirty at all, and that's an inertia operated system, as well as a retake Gordian. I cleaned that one after 1,000 rounds, and it looked like it was a waste of time. But anyways, have yourself a happy new year. It is the December 26th right now, so have a happy new year. Have a good and safe new year. I would really wish that everybody would have a good, safe new year. All right, that's it for me. Any questions or comments, leave them below. If you like the content of the video, give me that thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. Even if I help one person, that's why I do this. All right, thank you very much. Always remember to keep both eyes on your target. Thank you, everyone.